Some mornings I wake up grumpy, but usually I just sneak out and leave her sleeping. Sleeping is one of the most normal things we do when you think about it. But when you think about it, it's absolutely ludicrous. It's ridiculous that we spend a third of our day lying dormant, on standby, comatose. What possible purpose can that serve? Just crazy. I know that the energy my body uses is extracted from the food that I eat. So if I'm feeling a bit weary or run down or exhausted, surely I should be able to boost my energy levels just by eating more food. But it doesn't work like that. What I need is a good night's sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm re-energized, I'm rejuvenated, I'm reinvigorated. How does that possibly work? What on earth is going on there? When you're asleep, you're at your most vulnerable. You're not in a position to defend yourself against predators or the elements or whatever other dangers threaten your life or well-being. So you'd think that sleeping as little as possible would be a good thing to do. The process of natural selection favours the fittest. So you would expect that after millions and millions of years of evolution, people who don't sleep much or not at all would have risen to the top of the heap, and the rest of us would have died out. You'd expect the world to be full of people who don't sleep. But it hasn't worked out that way. In fact, it would seem that the fittest are those who sleep for a third of their lives. I can't see how that's an advantage to us. So maybe it actually serves a higher purpose. Bear in mind that it's not just humans, it's all the animals on the planet sleep. Perhaps all that collective sleep is serving some other purpose that we haven't figured out yet. When you're asleep, you're unconscious of what's going on around you. You go to sleep, you wake up sometime later, you're aware that time has passed, but you have no idea what events have taken place during that time. What I often find when I wake up in the morning is that I weigh as much as a kilogram lighter than what I did when I went to bed the night before. That's worth more than 2 pounds in America. That's quite a lot. It would seem that I've burned up that much fuel during a time when I appear to be doing nothing. How does that happen? It must be to do with brain activity. I know there's been brain activity going on because I can remember some of my dreams. Dreaming is a very strange thing to do. It's another one of those things that seems to serve no particular purpose. My own dreams are usually pretty disjointed and seldom tell a complete story. Sometimes they're entertaining, but usually they're not. If you recorded them and turned them into a television series, they'd make pretty dull viewing. But there was a time when I thought it would be interesting to analyse my dreams. So I started keeping a dream journal. I'd wake up in the night from a dream and I would immediately write down all the details that I could remember, and later on it would make quite fascinating reading. And I became quite adept at relating the images and the dreams to things that were going on in my own life. And interestingly enough, my dreams stepped up a level to match the analysis. They got quite detailed and reached a point where they featured Hollywood movie stars to make it more interesting. Admittedly, they weren't A-listers, but there was Forrest Whitaker, for example, and Minnie Driver, and Woody Allen would turn up. There was one occasion, though, I remember, when Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones arrived in my dream. They weren't actually featuring in the dream, they just turned up to say hello to the people who were in my dream and to wish them well, to say, I hope you make a good dream. I felt quite honoured. I became an expert at interpreting dreams, and not just my own, other people's as well. I established a reputation for it. People would seek me out specifically to ask me what their dreams meant. And it wasn't even analysis, it was pure intuition. Somebody would tell me their dream and I would instantly know something that was happening in their personal lives that I hadn't known previously. People often think that their dreams are premonitions of the future, but I never found that to be true. It was always about some issue they were dealing with at the time. And I'd interpret their dream for them and they would go away happy because it would almost always bring closure to whatever the issue was, or it would take them a step closer to closure, and that just felt really good. I probably can't do it anymore. It's a long, long time since I did it, but it was great while it lasted, and I just loved being able to send people away happy. Sleeping and dreaming take up a huge amount of time in our lives. They're a normal part of our daily routine that we don't give a second thought to, that maybe it's time we did think about it. They appear to be meaningless activities that just waste a huge amount of our day. But I suspect that actually they're hugely important for something. And it might not be about us. It might be about something much, much greater than us. We may be tiny little cogs in a gigantic machine, and our collective sleep helps keep the machine running. Maybe we should analyse our dreams, and somewhere in there we might find a tiny little hint that explains what sleep is for.